Becoming a millionaire may seem like it's only for other people, but what if you could fast track yourself to become a millionaire? 6 months ago, I was tired of watching my money disappear each month, and I decided to make a change. Living paycheck to paycheck, not an option. Watching debt accumulate, not an option. And not having enough set aside for emergencies or retirement, not an option. So, what if you bet on yourself? And what if you went all in on paying off debt and working your way towards making your first million? 6 months ago, I bet on myself, and here's what happened. Month one, I cut up all credit cards and canceled unnecessary subscriptions and memberships. By month two, I had $1,000 emergency fund in place, paid off a Kohl's card and my Apple Watch. By month three, I paid off a cell phone, my daughter's cell phone, and I lowered my monthly cell phone bill by $84 a month. By month four, I paid off a Home Depot card. By month five, I had my Bank of America card paid off. And by month six, I paid off a Chase card for a grand total of $16,339.91. And this wasn't because I found an extra stash of money or because I got a pay increase of work. I paid it all off because I went all in. And you've probably been told that hard work pays off, but here you could be 20, 30, 40 years deep into a career and still living paycheck to paycheck, or still having debt, or maybe you're still worrying when things need to be repaired. Or perhaps you've just had the realization that you are short on some of those retirement funds. So now I grew up my whole life with that belief that hard work does pay off. But at 53, I've been working so hard in my career, and that's just not what's happening for me. And it's actually not what's happening for a lot of couples and a lot of families or midlifers that have bought into this belief around money. Hard work didn't get me where I wanted to be financially at this age in my life, with retirement in my near future. So I wasn't able to pay off this amount in 6 months because I had something in my life that had drastically changed. My first bill that I actually paid off was only $134. I was able to pay off this large amount because I had just had enough. And I think that holding on to that belief that hard work was going to pay off was the exact belief that was just keeping me stuck. And it may be keeping you stuck as well. And it may be keeping you struggling and living paycheck to paycheck year after year, only to find that you're in the same financial situation that you were in the previous year. So living like this isn't necessary. What if we sprinted toward becoming a millionaire? And what if we moved with a sense of urgency and we had strategy and we had purpose? Right now, today, you don't need to win the lottery to become a millionaire, and you don't need to get an inheritance. You don't need to wait 30 or 40 years just to become a millionaire either. You just need to focus, and you need a clear plan, and you need the commitment just to go all in. So this video is a full tutorial, and it's going to teach you two things: how to go from having $0 to $1,000 in your bank, and it'll teach you the proven way to pay off debt so that your paycheck will finally be yours. You don't need to be giving it away each month to all the lenders. And I want you to know that you can do all of this just starting today, starting right now. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around, because the next 30 minutes can actually change your life and your financial situation. And if we haven't met yet, my name's Renee. I'm a mom from California, and I'm so excited that you're here today to watch the 30-minute video, because that tells me that you are here for some depth. And it tells me that it means that you're not just curious about becoming a millionaire, but you're actually committed to. And that's awesome, because if you want to become a millionaire, then you don't have time to mess around. You can't half try. You can't just stay stuck in old habits and say you're working on it. You have to decide that this is your goal, and you have to go all in. And that means giving up some comforts and giving up distractions and choosing to focus like your life depends on it. When I started my financial journey, I actually had one income, and I had it on a teacher's salary with 3 teenage kids at home. And I had retirement in the near future. So that meant I didn't have time to waste. And I didn't have time to chase shiny objects like winning the lottery or gambling my money away. I didn't listen to every financial guru out there telling me a different thing on a different day. Instead, I listened to one person, and that was Dave Ramsey of Ramsey Solutions. And I did his baby steps course of becoming a millionaire, and I followed the instructions step by step. I picked one lane and I stayed in it. I paid off small debts first, and I saw those wins, and that built momentum as I went. And trust me, I've made plenty of mistakes along the way. I've had setbacks and weak moments, and I've made sacrifices and cutbacks to avoid overspending. And yeah, I've had bad moments of budgeting, and I messed up early on with one of Dave Ramsey's rules. I even started a business where I'm working late into the night when I should probably be sleeping because I need to get up early and teach 120 sixth graders the next day. Yeah, I gained a little weight because I canceled my gym membership. And I was just faced with these daily and weekly choices each month, and I didn't always make the best choices. So why am I telling you all this? It's because I don't want you to think that becoming a millionaire can be accomplished by doing this casually or haphazardly and still get massive results. And I don't want you to think that other people who have become millionaires are just lucky. You're going to work for it. You're going to work hard over the next 6 months. So do you really want this financially? Do you want it fast? And do you want to build that emergency fund? And do you want to knock out debt? And do you want to have money in the bank? Do you want to be able to invest your money and watch it grow so that you can actually have a life that's free of financial worry? Do you want to have the life that you're dreaming of? Then treat it seriously and go all in. Take control of your finances because this isn't a once in a while thing. You need to decide to dedicate daily energy to you building an emergency fund and you knocking out debt. You won't be stuck in this phase forever, though. It's only for a season of time and it's only for right now. So, can you give this 6 months of laser focus and intensity? Can you do this journey even if no one in your family is doing it with you? And can you stop making excuses and just knock out your debt like your life depends on it? Because if you can, then you will be shocked at what's possible for you over the next 6 months. The last month before I started my financial journey, I was $1,000 short each month, and I was using credit cards to fill in the gaps. But during that 6 months of following the steps, I paid off over $16,000 and I brought in $8,000 of extra income. And I can't believe it. It's not because I had some magic shortcut of paying off debt. It's because I went all in. Now, in order for you to get that $1,000 in the bank and start paying off your debt, are you really ready to do what it takes? Are you really ready to say no to the things that you have to say no to so that you can say yes to financial freedom? And here's the truth. Sacrifice and budgeting, they're not going to be the enemy right now. They are the solution. Budgeting is the gateway to your goal of paying off debt and becoming a millionaire. And I want this for you. And I'm serious about helping you because I know how it feels. So let's get into it. I'm going to let you know the first 3 hurdles that are absolutely a must do before you start budgeting. Hurdle number 1 is your belief. The first battle that you must overcome is your belief. You must believe that you can become a millionaire, period. You need to conquer the monster of disbelief and doubt and throw away a scarcity mindset. Doubting that a millionaire status is something that you're capable cannot coexist on this journey, period. You must believe it. And you must never doubt that you can't pay off debt or become a millionaire. I never doubted for 1 second that I couldn't pay off debt or become a millionaire, but was I 100% sure of everything every step of the way? Heck no. But building an emergency fund and knocking out debt and becoming a millionaire, it won't come if you don't believe that you can succeed. So let go of that scarcity mindset. Let go of any middle class like beliefs that are keeping you stuck and decide that you're going to succeed on this financial journey no matter what. Because if you let doubt in, if you think for one single moment that getting out of debt or becoming a millionaire is not possible for you, then your momentum dies and staying stuck just becomes your reality. So you need to fully believe that you can do this. You need a bulletproof mindset that being a millionaire isn't just for other people. You are going to start your journey now, not next year, not next month, but start it now, right now. You're done feeling stressed about money and you're done putting groceries on credit and you're done not having enough funds to cover a simple $500 car repair. You must remove all doubt and you must take action. Momentum will come and it will build on yourself when you take action and you make that decision. Not someday, but now, and that you own it. There is absolutely no reason that you can't put $1,000 aside and pay off debt if you actually do the work. Why? Because becoming a millionaire, it's not rocket science. You believe it, you do it, and you become it. So before we move on, remove any of that negative money talk from your mind. What are you holding on to? What isn't allowing you to become a millionaire? Maybe money is the root of all evil, or maybe it's more enlightened to be poor than rich, or maybe most people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. Maybe money is a limited resource and you believe there's not enough of it to go around. Or maybe you think, I'll just never be rich, or getting rich is just a matter of luck or fate, or getting rich isn't for people like me. Or the investment world, maybe you think it's too complicated and hard to understand, and investments are people who are for people who already have money. There are a million other excuses. Maybe you think you're too old or not smart enough, or that you're too young. You need to replace all of that negative money talk with commitment and dedication. Say, I can pay off debt, and I can be rich, and I can watch my money grow, and I can live a life without worrying about money. Now, if you can remove all of that negative money talk and that scarcity mindset and replace it with the belief that you can do this, then you're ready to battle hurdle number 2. And hurdle number 2 is keeping up with the, while you're on this journey of getting an emergency fund and knocking out debt, you have to stop worrying about what other people think of you. You have lived enough of your life worrying about what other people think of you. You are on this journey, and not everyone is going to understand it. Let people have their opinions about credit scores and car payments and student loans, and people may think that your sacrifices are crazy, or they feel bad for you. If you're not earning credit card rewards or points or miles, that maybe there's something wrong with you. And people may not be aligned with your belief system that your credit score isn't your financial worth. And while others are busy upgrading or spending more money without intention and opening up credit cards to build their credit score, then you will be busy building something greater. You will build a legacy, and you will stay focused, and you will stay intense, because you're here for a purpose, and your goal is bigger than anyone else's belief systems around money. So this path, it takes courage and it takes guts to go against the grain. Here's the hard truth. Most people, they actually don't become millionaires. And here's what they don't realize. Wealth, it really isn't that complicated. What's hard is the inner work that must take place, and changing our habits and unlearning what you have to do, and the money habits that you need to break, and the shifts in money management that need to take place. But once you have a plan, then it's going to build on itself and it's going to grow. And honestly, that's the thing that most people just won't do. They won't stick to a plan. There is enough money out there for all of us to have wealth, but most people, they won't do the inner work in the beginning. So please don't skip those 2 inner battles of overcoming those important hurdles, because the plan alone, it's not going to stand a chance if you're battling your belief system around money, or if you're battling what other people are going to think of you. So don't settle with your current financial situation. You do the plan, and you will rise out of that mountain of debt that you're buried under. And the plan, it's not going to save you, but if the inner work isn't intact. The inner work is the real gain, you guys. The ordinary people that do become millionaires, they don't give up and they don't throw in the towel. The work is the work. Seeing it through is a non-negotiable. If you want financial freedom, and if you want wealth, and if you're willing to do what most people won't do, then listen closely, because the next thing I'm going to tell you, it may seem a little bit ironic, but before you can become a millionaire, I need to tell you that this one hurdle, and here it is, it's hurdle number 3. So don't make money your focus right now. Make getting out of debt your focus. The people who are living a life full of financial freedom, they're not the ones putting stuff on credit cards. They're not chasing frequent flyer miles, and they're not a slave to the lender. So they actually have money to invest, but you're not there yet. You are still sharing your paycheck with all of the lenders that you have in your life. So those student loans, or those car payments, or your mortgage payment, all those big and small purchases that you probably don't even remember what you bought, that you put on your credit card, all of that has piled up into this mountain of debt. So don't worry about impressing others with fancy clothing or a new car or the best college that you're going to. Nothing materialistic. Your focus now is just to stop. Stop accumulating more debt. Don't put anything else on credit ever, period. Because once you have zero debt, when your mountain of debt is gone, that's when your money starts to flow. And that's when it starts to build. And instead of you being buried under this mountain of debt, you will be standing on your mountain of wealth. There isn't going to be any magic way to have this happen. And you can't fast forward into the future where you're on the other side of this debt. But this is just a season. You're just in it right now. So you're not focused on investing. You're not focused on money or building wealth. You guys, you're focused on getting out of debt. And in 6 months, you will be in a better place financially. Do you want to know why I'm creating this new YouTube channel? And do you want to know why I'm even making these videos? Because I've been exactly where you are. And I remember what it felt like when I felt like I was buried in debt. So how do we turn this mountain of debt into a mountain of wealth? Here's the solid truth. You can't start building your wealth while you're still buried in debt. So think of it like this. First, you need to climb out of that mountain of debt that's actually just holding you down. And when that ground is clear, then you can start building blocks and building a mountain of wealth that's going to grow higher and stronger over time. So every extra dollar right now belongs to paying off debt. So now it's time. Let's talk about strategy now, you guys. A 6-month plan to get you out of debt. A 6-month plan to build a bridge from where you are now to financial freedom. And that bridge has 4 parts: stop, track, build, and attack. Step 1, stop the bleeding. This is going to be the hardest step of all. So let's start with the hardest part: cutting up your credit cards. I know this is where a lot of people are probably going to click away in this video, because here's the truth. You can't shovel out of this hole that you're in if you keep throwing dirt back on top of it. So every swipe of the credit card is more dirt. And I'll just put it on my credit card, digs you deeper. Debt is quicksand. So if you skip this step and you decide not to cut up your credit cards, then the deeper you're going to sink. Cutting up your credit cards, it isn't a punishment. It's about freedom. It forces you to stop the thoughtless spending and to think differently about money. But I know the thought of this, it doesn't make you probably just uncomfortable. It can actually even make you scared. I know what you're thinking, but I need my credit cards just in case of an emergency. Or maybe you're thinking, I always pay my debt off at the end of the month. Or maybe you're thinking, but what about my rewards and my points? Yeah, I get it, you guys. Credit cards, they come wrapped in some pretty big promises, points and perks and safety nets. But here's the truth. Credit cards are not a tool. Credit cards are a trap. So let's bust through the myths. So let's bust through the credit card myths. Myth number 1, credit card points are free money, airline miles, and cash back. It all sounds so amazing, right? But studies show that people spend 12 to 18% more when using a credit card instead of cash. Why? Because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like real money. So those rewards and points, they're just bait. Myth number 2, I need a credit card for emergencies. You guys, if your plan for an emergency is swiping plastic, that is not security. That is real debt that has real interest, that grows really big and really fast. So later in this video, when I get to step 3 and I show you how to build your emergency fund, that will be a real safety net. Myth number 3, I'm responsible. I pay off my debt every month. Well, that's all great and all, but you're also playing with fire. Credit cards keep you in this cycle of dependency. They create the illusion that you can afford things that you actually can't. And even if you do pay it off, you've actually trained your brain to lean on debt instead of discipline. So think of it like this. If you were trying to lose weight, would you actually keep your favorite candy bars on the kitchen counter? No, because it's temptation, and we know temptation is powerful. So cutting up those credit cards, it removes temptation. And here's the bigger picture. Yes, I know it's scary, and I know it feels like you're losing that safety net, but really what you're losing is that shovel that's been digging your hole deeper and deeper. And when you cut up those credit cards, you're not just stopping the bleeding, you're telling yourself that I'm done. I'm done living on borrowed money, and I'm building something real. So now that you understand the importance of stopping the bleeding, then let's start to find out how to find some hidden money in step 2. Step 2 is all about tracking every dollar. Yep, budgeting. Budgeting does get a bad reputation, but really it is giving your money a job. That's all it is. When you track your spending, when you take control of your money instead of wondering, where did my paycheck go? Think of it like this. You're turning on the lights in a messy room and suddenly you can see exactly what's there and you can see exactly where everything needs to go. This step prepares you for emergencies so that you're not running back to those credit cards. I know even just hearing the word budgeting makes some people want to check out, but budgeting, because they think budgeting feels like a diet, or budgeting is boring, or maybe they think it's complicated, or maybe you think budgeting is just too restrictive and hard to stick with. But you guys, budgeting gives you a plan for freedom. So don't fall into the budgeting myths either. Let's knock those out. Myth number one, budgets are too restrictive. People think that budgets mean no fun, like no Starbucks and no joy, but a budget is actually giving you and giving every dollar a job so that you are in control of your money instead of wondering where it goes each month. So you're actually telling your money exactly where to go. And guess what? You can put fun in your budget and then you don't regret it. Myth number two, I don't make enough money to budget. Actually, the less money you make, the more important a budget becomes. A budget stretches your money further because then you can see the leaks that you didn't even realize were draining you. Myth number three, budgets are complicated. They're just not, you guys, and they don't have to be. All you need is a free app. I use the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app, and apps are so easy, and they only take a few minutes a day. There's a ton of videos on them if you feel confused or you think that you're not understanding all the features. You can always just play around with it, watch a video on it, but they're really so simple. Okay, and just to drive home this point, budgeting, I would say the main thing about budgeting is that it just makes you aware. And you know, awareness is power. So think of your money like a leaky bucket. Without a budget, the water just runs right out. And you're wondering, why am I always on empty? But a budget plugs up the holes. And suddenly you can actually fill the bucket instead of watching it drain. Also realize a budget doesn't take away your choices, it protects them. When you know exactly what's coming in and exactly what's going out, then you can plan for what matters most to you. And right now, what matters most to you is paying off debt faster and building that $1,000 emergency fund. So don't think of budgeting as a cage, you guys. Think of it as just guardrails. Guardrails don't keep you from driving, they keep you from going over a cliff. A budget is simply you steering your money toward freedom instead of chaos. So start today, download that free budgeting app, and get familiar with using it so that you can be on your way to step 3 in your 6-month plan. Step 3 is to build that emergency fund. Now that you have stopped using credit cards and now that you've started budgeting, it is time for the most important step in this plan, which is building your $1,000 emergency fund. And I get it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, this might feel impossible, but here's the key. You're not trying to save forever. You're just building a short runway to give yourself some breathing room. And you're putting this money aside temporarily towards the $1,000 emergency fund and having that in place so that in the future months, you won't have to be saving for that. Here's where stopping that leaky bucket comes in again. Look at those subscriptions. Look at the memberships. Look at your streaming devices and your apps, and consider that gym membership. Pausing just a few could free up $50 or $100 a month. Next, call your service providers, your insurance, your internet, and you'll be surprised how often they will reduce your bill if you just ask. Finally, track those daily habits, your coffee runs, your fast food, even convenient spending. Even $5 a day, it adds up to $150 a month. Also, redirect money that comes in, like birthday money or extra bursts of income that you may get. Direct it towards your emergency fund instead. Okay, you guys, think of your dollar as a soldier. Right now, you want as many soldiers as possible fighting for your financial freedom, not slipping away on things that you don't even notice. You need to stay laser focused and hit that $1,000 goal in as little as 1 to 3 months. And if you already have that money set aside, then you're ahead of the game. Just don't touch it. So once you have that in place, you're going to feel this shift and you're going to realize that a flat tire or a medical bill or a trip to urgent care or even like a broken appliance, all those things are going to happen, but now you're not going to have to swipe a credit card just to get through them. It'll just be more of a bump in a road. And that will be a real safety net that you have in place so that you can focus on attacking your debt with intensity. So how do you build it? Let's talk some strategies. You guys, you can sell something. Look around the house. Do you have clothing that you don't wear or electronics that are just gathering dust or that treadmill that you swore that you would use? Go ahead and sell them. You have Facebook Marketplace or garage sales or eBay, because you'll be surprised how quickly $100 here or $50 there adds up. Number 2, cut something temporarily. Hit that pause button on takeout or streaming, like I mentioned, or subscriptions, or those impulse buys that we all do, and just tell yourself, this isn't forever. This is just for now, and it's for freedom. Even saving $5 a day adds up to $150 a month. Number 3, pick up some extra work to bring in some extra income just for a short season. I mean, you could deliver groceries, you could babysit, you could do some pet sitting. You could sell online products. And I'm not saying to work yourself to death, but what I am saying is that some short-term like side hustle that you can do can like give you some long-term breathing room. The things I did for this one is I had some opportunities in my teaching career, which I was able to take on a leadership role that paid me $1,800. That was for the entire year. And I also taught summer school, which brought me in about $6,000. I also started my YouTube channel to earn some extra income and to use that as a side hustle. So I thought about signing up like for tutor.com or Uber, but I couldn't make myself accept that first job. Also, redirect any unexpected money, like a bonus or birthday money or your tax refund. Instead of spending it, just stack it. That's what I did too with that first $1,000 because I had that leadership money that I normally probably would have spent on paying off credit cards. I actually used that as my emergency fund. Even $20 bills count, $100, it just all adds up. The goal is progress. It's not about perfection. You don't need to have $1,000 overnight, but every $50, every $100 gets you closer to that breathing room. And when you have $1,000 just sitting there, the peace of mind, you guys, is priceless. And suddenly an emergency, it's just an inconvenience. It's not this financial disaster. That's when you start to feel hope rise because you're no longer living on the edge of that panicky feeling. Step 4, attack debt. Now that you have your emergency fund in place, you are ready to start shoveling yourself out of that hole. Now, there are a lot of debt payoff strategies out there, but I want to keep this simple and I want to keep it effective. That's why I stick with Dave Ramsey's recommendation of the snowball method. And here's why it works, you guys. You line up your debts from the smallest balance to the largest balance. You forget about the interest rates because we're going after momentum here. So you start paying the minimum payments on everything except for that one smallest debt. That one small debt gets all the extra money that you can squeeze out of your budget. Now, and here's the magic. Once you knock out that first little debt, it's a win. And you can feel it and you free up that payment. And then you roll that over into the next smallest debt. And suddenly the snowball starts rolling and it grows bigger and it grows faster with every debt that you knock out. Why does this matter? Because money isn't just about math. It's about your behavior. If it was about math, none of us would be in debt in the first place. The snowball method gives you those quick wins that just keep you motivated. And I can attest to that. The very first thing that I paid off was my Apple Watch, and I was paying on that over time, along with my cell phone and along with some additional cell phones. So paying that off and putting money towards the snowball method, it just made me see progress. And I felt that progress. And it just keeps you in the fight. So imagine the day when your smallest debt is paid off, and then your credit card, and then your car loan, and then your student loan. Each step makes you feel lighter. And before you know it, you have built momentum. This is the momentum where you start feeling powerful and unstoppable, and you're gaining speed with every turn. And that's a feeling that you'll never forget. Every dollar you free up goes back in towards knocking out other balances, and you're knocking down this brick wall that has been holding you back. Imagine how it will feel to watch those balances disappear one by one. And even if your journey does take longer than 6 months from now, you will not be in the same place that you are today. 6 months of cutting up credit cards and sticking to a budget and saving for an emergency fund and tackling debt with intensity, it gives you momentum, it gives you clarity, and it gives you hope. You may not be debt free yet, but you're going to have the systems in place so that you feel lighter, more in control, and more confident about your future. Here's a recap. Do the inner work first. Overcome those first few hurdles about yourself and about your money beliefs. Don't worry what other people think of you, and stop making money your focus right now. Then follow that 6-month plan to stop the bleeding, to track your money, to build your emergency fund, and attack your debt with intensity. I really hope you let me know in the comments, what is the biggest struggle that you're facing right now? Is it cutting up those credit cards? Is it sticking to a budget? Maybe you're saving that $1,000. Just let me know, because I want to create videos to guide you step by step. You guys, I'm in this journey too. I am currently in step 2 of Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, and I'm conquering my biggest mountain of debt so far. So whatever you're going through, I've been there, and I would love to take this journey together. I really hope this video has helped inspire you. Those are the things that worked for me. And you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.